Welcome back to First Class Investments. We're talking about Forex University here. We're learning the language of the foreign exchange market. Today we got the sessions. The sessions are going to show you what happens at different times of the day. All right, here they are, 4 to 7, and all these are Central Time, like Central, not Central America, but Central North America. Okay, dead time, 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. That is when the market is totally dead. All right, totally dead. And my suggestion, don't trade during that time. Tokyo session from 7:30 to 2 a.m. That's pretty much when all the JPY pairs are going to be going off the charts. All right. So if you want to trade during those times, my suggestion, trade the JPY pairs. Everything else like USD or CADs, they might be a little slow. London session from 2:30 to 8 a.m. London session is known as the biggest session in all of Forex trading because you catch the most amount of pips during that time. London session is like number one trading area. All right. And then the New York session, that's when the market is trying to come back and correct itself. So New York session is number 2. London session is number 1. Tokyo is number 3. Dead time, try not to trade during those times. Okay. So as you can see, that each of these are missing 30 minutes. Why is that? That is because the 30 minutes is time for the market makers to discuss on what they have done the previous session and try to figure out what they're going to do the next section. So that is market maker meetup time. During that time, you're going to see pretty just consistent going across. All right, consolidation. That's pretty much what you're going to see. And you're going to see the spread widening. Now, spread widens at the beginning and end of the week, like right when you get to the beginning of the week, which is Sunday at 4 p.m. till Friday at 4 p.m. You'll see the spread like open up big, okay? Beginning and end of the day. So at 4 p.m. or 3:50 p.m. the following day, and then 4 p.m. the next day, you'll see the spread gap open, and that's during the dead time. That's why we don't like to do that. Beginning and end of the session. So right before, after that 30 minutes of market maker talk, you see the spread start to opening and widening. They're trying to see, hey, where they can grab those pending orders or hitting those stops before they start the next session. Okay, trying to catch as much money as they possibly can. Like I said earlier, the 30-minute gap, time to discuss what they did the previous session. It's also time to figure out what they plan to do this session. So, Asian session, that's the initial high and low of the day. All right, it's not a lot of pips during that time unless you trade in the JPY pairs, and it pretty much range, like it just goes straight across. And another thing about the Asian session is since it's not a lot of action going on, there's a higher spread. The spread is a little bit bigger than normal. That's because they're trying to figure out what they want to do. They're trying to grab as much as they can before they start the day to see which direction they want to go. London session, also known as the false or trap moves. London session is known as the most widely traded session because this is when big reversals happen and the most pips, and it's the lowest spreads because they have so many people trading on this time frame. Trend moves are made, but in America, it's the hardest to stay awake for. If you're in a different country, it's easier. If you're in Europe or anything, that's easy. You're waking up at pretty much in the middle of the day. In New York, America, it's a little harder to stay awake from 2:30 to 8 a.m. Not a lot of people can do that. So that's why London session is a little tough. But if you can wake up and stay up, you catch the most pips in that time. New York, it's a little tricky because it's at the end of the day. And remember how a candle works. It opened one time, it goes up or down, and then it closes at the kind of the same area it wanted to open at. All right. And then another thing is after 12 a.m. or after 12 p.m. Actually, not 12 a.m. 12 p.m. It basically just ranges, like it goes straight across. So not a lot of action happens. So you only have 4 hours from 8 to 12 to make some trades. Counter trend trades pretty much work the best around here if you want to go that route. So you have to pick which session you want to be in to get the trade in. Things to look for. We're going to talk about ADR in just a second. Asian session has to be 50 pips or less. That is pretty much letting you know that you have a lot more money to make. If you're going to trade the London session, you have a lot of money to make if your Asian session is less than 50 pips. We're going because of the ADR, average daily range. We're going to talk about that one a little later, but you can research that on Baby Pips. Not advised to trade on Asian session because of this. It's not going to give you too much money because it got to be less than 50 pips. So you're going to make something less than 50. London session needs the vector, and that means it basically needed. We put these boxes on the chart so that way you can see how big the boxes are. If it comes out of the box, that's a vector. That means it's moving in a false direction really, really fast. It's trying to show you that it's direction, but it's going to trick you and go the other direction. New York section, always put your take profit somewhere near a moving average when you counter trend trading. All right. If you're going to counter trend trade, put it towards back a moving average because you know that bounce, that pullback is going to happen. And that's just basically how you do it. That's all we got on for you for sessions. We hope you enjoyed. This is First Class Investments, Forex University. We hope you have a good day. Thank you.